AI is no longer about tools that sit quietly on the side waiting for instructions. It is evolving into teammates that actively participate in execution. For years, technology helped us do things faster, but it still depended entirely on human direction at every step. You clicked, typed, approved, corrected, and pushed things forward. That model is breaking down. In 2026, AI is shifting from reactive assistance to proactive ownership of tasks. Instead of asking AI to help write an email, you assign it a goal and it figures out the steps. Instead of telling software how to manage a process, you define the outcome and it manages the process on its own. This changes how work is structured at the deepest level. Teams were built around roles because tasks required constant human involvement. Now, AI teammates can monitor systems, make decisions within defined boundaries, and adapt in real time. An AI sales agent doesn't just draft messages, it analyzes responses, prioritizes leads, follows up automatically, and escalates only when human judgment actually adds value. An AI operations assistant doesn't just track metrics, it flags inefficiencies, suggests fixes, and implements changes without waiting for a meeting or approval chain. The biggest shift is mental, not technical. Most people still think in terms of tasks, while AI operates best in terms of objectives. When you move from saying, do this step to achieve this result, you unlock exponential leverage. That's why companies that adopt AI teammates don't just save time, they redesign how value is created. One person can oversee multiple AI agents, each responsible for a specific outcome, turning management into orchestration rather than micromanagement. This also forces a new definition of leadership. The highest value humans will not be the ones doing the most work, but the ones setting the clearest constraints, priorities, and standards. AI teammates thrive on clarity. The better you define success, the more independently they perform. This rewards operators who think in systems and punish those who rely on constant intervention. What makes this moment dangerous for traditional organizations is speed. AI teammates don't get tired, don't lose focus, and don't wait for alignment. They execute continuously. Businesses that cling to manual workflows will feel like they're standing still while competitors compound progress daily. This isn't about replacing humans, it's about freeing humans from low-leverage execution so they can focus on judgment, creativity, and direction while AI handles the rest. Speed will beat size in 2026 because leverage has shifted away from resources and toward execution velocity. For decades, big companies won by default because they had more money, more people, and more reach. Scale protected them, but AI collapses the advantage of scale by compressing time. What once required layers of approval, departments, and long timelines can now be executed by small, focused teams in days or even hours. When speed becomes cheap, size becomes a liability. Large organizations move slowly because they are designed to manage risk, not momentum. Every decision passes through meetings, hierarchies, and competing incentives. In a world where markets change quarterly, that worked. In a world where markets change weekly, it breaks. Small teams using AI don't need consensus to move. They test, ship, measure, and iterate before larger competitors even align on a strategy. The compounding effect of fast feedback loops means early movers don't just get ahead, they stay ahead. AI turns speed into a multiplier. A small team with clear direction can deploy AI to research, build, market, sell, and support without waiting on specialized roles. Instead of hiring experts, they deploy systems. Instead of coordinating departments, they orchestrate workflows. This allows them to pivot instantly when something doesn't work. Speed isn't just about moving fast once, it's about being able to change direction without friction. In 2026, opportunity windows will be shorter than ever. Trends will emerge, peak, and disappear quickly. The winners won't be those who analyze the opportunity the longest, but those who act while others are still debating. Speed creates optionality. When you move fast, you learn faster. When you learn faster, you make better decisions with less information. This creates a feedback advantage that size can't buy. The psychological edge matters just as much as the technical one. Fast-moving teams develop confidence because they see results quickly. Slow teams develop doubt because progress feels invisible. Momentum becomes culture. Over time, speed attracts better talent, stronger partners, and more opportunities because people want to align with movement, not potential. This shift forces a redefinition of what a strong organization looks like. It's no longer about how many people you employ or how big your budget is. It's about how quickly you can turn an idea into reality and a reality into data. In 2026, the market won't reward perfection or planning. It will reward motion, adaptability, and relentless execution at a pace that makes slower competitors irrelevant. AI will collapse costs across every industry by attacking the two most expensive inputs in business, time and labor. For decades, growth meant hiring more people, expanding departments, and increasing fixed expenses. Efficiency improvements were incremental at best. AI breaks that model by allowing the same output to be produced with a fraction of the resources. Tasks that once required teams, training, and ongoing management can now be handled by systems that run continuously without fatigue or salary escalation. This cost collapse doesn't just reduce expenses. It reshapes what businesses consider possible. When the cost of execution drops, experimentation becomes cheap. Companies can test ideas that were previously too risky or expensive. Marketing campaigns can be launched and killed in days instead of quarters. Product features can be prototyped without full development teams. Customer support can scale instantly without hiring sprees. Lower costs remove fear from decision making and replace it with action. The most disruptive ECT will be felt in knowledge-based industries where labor has historically been the primary cost. Legal research, financial analysis, design, copywriting, and strategy work are being automated at a level that would have seemed impossible a few years ago. This doesn't mean these roles disappear, but their economics change. One skilled professional supported by AI can now do the work of many, driving down prices while increasing output and quality at the same time. As costs collapse, pricing power shifts. Companies that adopt AI early will be able to offer better products at lower prices while maintaining higher margins. Competitors who resist will be trapped between rising costs and shrinking demand. This creates a widening gap where efficient operators pull further ahead and inefficient ones struggle to survive. The market will reward those who redesign their operations around AI, not those who simply bolt it onto existing workflows. This shift also lowers the barrier to entry. When starting a business no longer requires large upfront investment or big teams, more people can compete. That increases competition, but it also increases innovation. The winners won't be the ones who spend the most, but the ones who allocate resources most intelligently. Capital will flow toward operators who demonstrate leverage, not headcount. Ultimately, collapsing costs force a mindset change. Success will no longer come from working harder or spending more, but from designing systems that do more with less. AI makes efficiency the default rather than the goal. Businesses that understand this will scale faster, take smarter risks, and adapt quicker than those clinging to old cost structure. Yours in a world that no longer supports them. Distribution plus AI creates an unfair advantage because attention is the most scarce resource in the modern economy, and AI dramatically amplifies the ability to monetize it. Technology alone has never been enough to win. History is filled with better products that failed because no one knew they existed. In 2026, that truth becomes even more brutal. AI makes building easier, faster, and cheaper, which means more competition and more noise. The only reliable filter through that noise is owned distribution. When you already control attention through an audience, a platform, or a trusted channel, AI becomes a force multiplier instead of just a tool. You don't need to guess what to build because your audience tells you through data, engagement, and behavior. AI can analyze that signal, identify patterns, and help you create offers that are perfectly aligned with demand. This shortens the distance between idea and revenue. Instead of building first and hoping people show up, you start with people and let AI help you serve them better. AI also allows distribution to operate at a scale and precision that was previously impossible. Content can be created, tested, personalized, and optimized continuously. Messages can be adapted to different segments without additional effort. Offers can be refined in real time based on performance. This means distribution stops being a one-time push and becomes an adaptive system that improves itself over time. The real unfairness comes from compounding. When you combine AI with distribution, every piece of content, every campaign, and every interaction feeds back into the system. AI learns what works, doubles down on it, and eliminates what doesn't. Over time, this creates a widening gap between those who own attention and those who rent it. Paid ads get more expensive, platforms change algorithms, but owned distribution backed by AI becomes more efficient the longer you use it. This dynamic also changes the balance of power between builders and marketers. In the past, technical skill was often valued more than audience ownership. In 2026, the opposite is increasingly true. A creator with distribution and basic AI systems can outmaneuver a technically superior team with no audience. The market rewards reach combined with relevance, not just innovation. What makes this especially powerful is accessibility. You no longer need massive budgets or media teams to build distribution. Consistent output, clear positioning, and AI-driven optimization are enough to grow and maintain attention. Once attention is secured, monetization becomes a matter of alignment rather than persuasion. Those who understand this will stop chasing virality and start building systems where AI turns attention into predictable, scalable leverage. Vertical AI will win over general AI because depth creates value faster than breadth. General AI is impressive, but it is designed to serve everyone, which means it truly serves no one at an elite level. In contrast, vertical AI is built around a single industry, workflow, or problem, allowing it to understand context, language, constraints, and outcomes with far greater precision. Businesses don't want intelligence in theory, they want results in practice, and specificity is what turns intelligence into revenue. Industries operate on nuance. A Cal clinic, a real estate brokerage, a logistics company, and a law firm all have different regulations, data structures, decision-making patterns, and risk profiles. General AI must stay broad to remain flexible, but vertical AI can be trained on the exact data that matters. This allows it to automate high-value decisions, not just low-level tasks. Instead of helping someone work faster, it replaces entire workflows with systems that are already aligned with how that industry actually functions. This precision leads to trust, which is critical for adoption. When an AI understands the terminology, processes, and pain points of an industry, users don't have to translate their needs into generic prompts. The system feels native rather than foreign. That reduces friction, shortens onboarding, and increases dependency. Once a business relies on vertical AI for core operations, switching becomes difficult, creating strong retention and long-term value. Vertical AI also creates clearer paths to monetization. Pricing is easier because the value is obvious and measurable. If an AI helps a dentist increase appointment bookings, reduce no-shows, or optimize staff scheduling, the return is immediate and quantifiable. This makes buyers less price sensitive and more willing to pay for outcomes rather than features. General AI struggles here because its value is diffuse and harder to tie to specific results. From a competitive standpoint, vertical AI builds defensibility, data compounds within a niche. Each interaction improves the system's understanding of that specific environment, making it harder for new entrants to catch up. While general AI companies compete in crowded, noisy markets, vertical AI companies quietly dominate smaller but highly profitable segments. As AI lowers the cost of building software, differentiation becomes harder at the surface level. The edge moves to insight, context, and execution. Vertical AI thrives in this environment because it is built around real problems rather than abstract capability. The future belongs to those who choose a narrow battlefield, master it deeply, and use AI to deliver outcomes that generic solutions simply cannot match. Execution matters more than ideas because ideas have become abundant while the ability to turn them into reality remains rare. AI has lowered the barrier to ideation so dramatically that anyone can generate business concepts, marketing angles, product features, or strategies in minutes. What used to feel special is now common. In 2026, the marketplace will not reward people for having good ideas. It will reward those who can implement them quickly, consistently, and effectively. The real bottleneck is no longer thinking, it is doing. Execution requires decisions, prioritization, and follow-through under uncertainty. AI can assist with planning and analysis, but it cannot replace ownership. Someone still has to commit to a direction, accept trade-offs, and push forward when results are unclear. Most people stall at this point, endlessly refining ideas instead of shipping imperfect versions into the real world. That hesitation is where opportunity dies. AI actually increases the execution gap. Those who act gain access to real data faster, which allows them to improve. Those who wait fall further behind because the feedback loop compounds. When you execute, you learn what works, what doesn't, and why. That learning informs the next iteration. Over time, the difference between someone who executes and someone who only plans becomes exponential, even if the planner started with a better idea. Businesses that win in 2026 will be designed around rapid implementation. They will prioritize shipping over polishing, testing over theorizing, and results over opinions. AI enables this by handling many of the mechanical aspects of execution, but only if someone sets the pace. Without urgency, AI becomes another tool for analysis paralysis rather than progress. This reality shifts how success is measured. Intelligence, creativity, and insight are no longer sufficient differentiators. Reliability and momentum become the real currency. People and teams that consistently execute build trust with customers, partners, and the market. They are seen as dependable, which attracts more opportunities and resources, creating a reinforcing cycle. The uncomfortable truth is that most failure is not caused by a lack of ideas, but by a lack of sustained action. AI removes many traditional excuses, making inaction more visible. When execution is cheap and tools are abundant, the only remaining variable is discipline. Those who develop the habit of turning decisions into action will dominate, not because they are smarter, but because they move while others hesitate, converting potential into progress through relentless follow-through. AI is a force multiplier, not a replacement, because its true power lies in amplifying human capability rather than eliminating it. Technology has always worked this way. The calculator didn't replace mathematicians, and spreadsheets didn't to replace accountants. They raised the baseline and shifted human effort toward higher value thinking. AI follows the same pattern but at a much larger scale. It takes what a person is already capable of and extends it across time, volume, and complexity. The outcomes people get from AI depend heavily on who is using it. In the hands of someone with clarity, judgment, and domain understanding, AI produces extraordinary results. In the hands of someone without direction, it produces noise. This is why two people can use the same AI tools and get completely different outcomes. AI does not create competence, it magnifies it. Strengths become stronger, and weaknesses become more visible. This dynamic changes how individuals and organizations should approach AI adoption. The goal is not to remove humans from the equation, but to redesign roles so that humans focus on what they do best. Humans provide context, ethics, taste, and decision-making under ambiguity. AI provides speed, pattern recognition, and consistency. When these are combined intentionally, productivity increases without sacrificing quality or judgment. The danger comes from treating AI as a shortcut instead of a multiplier. When people try to replace thinking with automation, they create brittle systems that fail in unexpected situations. AI lacks lived experience and accountability. It cannot fully understand consequences beyond the data it has seen. Human oversight is what turns automation into resilience. The best systems are not fully autonomous, they are co-piloted. This also reframes the future of work. The most valuable professionals will not be those who compete with AI, but those who know how to direct it. Prompting, system design, and outcome definition become core skills. Instead of asking how to protect jobs from AI, the better question is how to make individuals exponentially more effective with it. Organizations that understand this will invest in human judgment alongside AI infrastructure. They will train people to think in leverage, not effort. They will reward those who can turn AI into impact, not just usage. Over time, this creates a widening gap between those who see AI as a threat and those who see it as an extension of themselves. Scaling intent into execution through intelligent collaboration